श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सावनललिता श्रीशाखान्वितान् हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. So continuing from the 8th chapter, various questions which have been asked, the very deep inquisitiveness for Maharaj Parikshit to know the entirety of the creation and all the incarnations of the Supreme Lord. And we saw in the previous verse, he said that you please reply and answer to what I have all inquired, and all that I may not have inquired from you. So this is very, very unprecedented. He has such keenness, such unlimited zeal and enthusiasm to hear the glories of the Supreme Lord, and in a way to encourage Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj may not think that Sukdev Goswami may not Parikshit is getting exhausted. So he spoke this verse that we discussed yesterday, that because of my drinking the nectar of the message of the infallible personality of Godhead, which is flowing down from the ocean of your speeches, I do not feel any sort of exhaustion due to my fasting. Pibata achut piyusham tattavakya abdhi vinishritam. Further, Srila Sūta Goswami, now Srila Sūta Goswami is speaking to the sages. Sūta uvacha saupaman mantrito rajna kathayamiti satpate brahmarata bhrisham prito vishnurate samsadi. We discussed this word. Vishnurat and Brahmarat. Who is Vishnurat? Maharaj Parikshit, and Shukdev Goswami is Brahmarat. Srimad Bhagavatam can be legitimately discussed only among the devotees of the Lord. As Bhagavad Gita was authoritatively discussed between Lord Krishna and Arjuna, the Lord and the devotee respectively. Similarly, Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the postgraduate study of Bhagavad Gita, can also be discussed between the scholars and devotees like Shukdev Goswami and Parikshit Maharaj. Otherwise, the real taste of the nectar cannot be relished. Sukdev Goswami was pleased with Maharaj Parikshit because he was not at all tired of hearing the topics of the Lord and was more and more anxious to hear them on and on with interest. There is one beautiful verse in the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Anyone remembers? Where Arjuna is expressing the same feeling while he is hearing Bhagavad Gita. Anyone remembers that verse? Exactly the same sequel to the verse that we are discussing. This is from Bhagavad Gita. I expect that you should be all knowing. Pibanti Achut Katha. This 10th chapter, Bhagavad Gita, and 18th verse. Manoram, please show this verse. These are all very, very extraordinary verses. You should memorize. Remember these verses. Visterena atmano yogam vibhutim cha janardhanam bhuya katha triptirhi shanvato nasti me amritam. Bhuya katha. Bhuya means again. So bhuyo katha. So please describe in great detail. Again, please describe in great detail the mystic power of your opulence. I am never satiated in hearing about me. Kathaya triptim hi. How? Shanvata na asti me amritam. For the more I hear, the more I want to taste the nectar of your words. See, this is a similar statement made to Sutta Goswami by the rishis of Nemi Sharanya, headed by Shaunaka. The statement is Vayam tu na vitrapyama uttam shloka vikrame yashanvatam rasgyanam swadu swadu pade pade. One can never be satiated even though one continuously hears the transcendental pastimes of Krishna, who is glorified by excellent prayers. Those who have entered into the transcendental relationship with Krishna relish, see, this is very important. Those who have entered into transcendental relationship, only those. This is what the Prophet Prabhupada is speaking, that it can be only relished amongst those who are devotees. What it means to be a devotee? Who has relationship with the Lord. And what it means that he has relationship with the Lord? That he will relish at every step the descriptions of the pastimes of the Lord. Thus, the Arjuna is interested in hearing about Krishna and specifically how he remains as the all-pervading Supreme Lord. So this is what is the interest of Maharaj Parikshit. Okay, you can close it now. This is exactly what Maharaj Parikshit is expressing here. Why so late, Purushottam? You came now from the office? अभी आए हो ऑफिस से?
नहीं प्रभु, थोड़ा लेट हो गया।
ये सब आलस वालस छोड़ दो. There are only two reasons for our not advancing. One is predominant is laziness, tamogun, and second is craziness, which is rajogun. Joining time is 8 o'clock. What is the time now? 8:38. So this is very important. Otherwise, the real taste of nectar cannot be relished. Sukdev Goswami was pleased with Maharaj Parikshit because he was not at all tired of hearing the topics of the Lord and was more and more anxious to hear them on and on with interest. Foolish interpreters unnecessarily tackle the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam when they have no access to the subject matter. There is no use in non-devotees meddling with the two topmost Vedic literatures. And therefore, Shankaracharya did not touch Srimad Bhagavatam for commentation. In his commentation on the Bhagavad Gita, Sripad Shankaracharya accepted Lord Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but later on he commented from the impersonalist view. But being conscious of his position, he did not comment on Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhupada gives an example. What he compares the non-devotees attempt to study Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. What he compares the non-devotees attempt. What is the analogy given? Yes, Ramya?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, leaking the honey without opening the cap.
Yes, licking the honey outside the bottle. From outside the bottle, what he will taste? He cannot taste. Taste is there only when there is transcendental relationship. And how that relationship is coming, this is mentioned here in the same sequence, just 2 verses back. Parishit Maharaj explained how one can come into that relationship and how one can have that higher taste, that superior taste. Manoram?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, it is through hearing from the Parampara, Prabhu.
Yes, it is only through hearing from bona fide disciplic succession. Nothing else, you see. Here he is saying. O great sage, you are as good as Brahma, the original living being. Others follow customs only as followed by previous philosophical speculators. Purvesham purvaja kritam. Because he is following into the footsteps. Prabhupada gives the entire lineage that Vedic transcendental knowledge descends directly from the personality of Godhead by his mercy. Brahma, the first living being in the universe, was enlightened, and from Brahmaji Narad, and from Narad Vyas and Sukdev Goswami received such transcendental knowledge directly. Thus, the knowledge being received from the chain of disciplic succession is perfect. So, without being in disciplic succession, no one can become the recipient of this knowledge. Srila Sukdev Goswami was protected by Lord Krishna by Brahma Vivarth Puran, and therefore he is known as Brahmarat. And Srimad Parikshit Maharaj, we discussed this yesterday, was protected by Vishnu. How Sukdev Goswami was protected by Lord Krishna? We discussed this yesterday. How Sukdev Goswami was protected by Lord Krishna. 2 examples are given here of the scriptures of Brahma Vaivarth Puran. What is the Brahma Vaivarth Puran reference? Why Maharaj Sukdev Goswami is being called as Brahmarat? बताइए. Why Sukdev Goswami is called as Brahmarat? How Lord Krishna saved him? You don't know? Pradeep?
I don't know.
Purushottam? बोलो.
No, Prabhu, I don't know.
मानिनी माता जी, you know?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
हरे कृष्ण.
ये पता नहीं प्रभु जी, वो माँ के गर्भ में थे, 16 साल तक नहीं आ रहे थे।
हाँ, वो बाहर नहीं आ रहे थे. क्यों?
वो माया के जाल में पड़ना नहीं चाहते थे।
हाँ, तो भगवान को स्वयं आना पड़ा. व्यासदेव ने प्रार्थना की और भगवान श्री कृष्ण ने स्वयं दर्शन दिया गर्भ में और कहा कि माया आपको टच नहीं करेगी, आप बाहर आ जाओ। तो बाहर आए, और बाहर आते ही क्या किए, कहाँ चल दिए?
वो चलने लगे, फिर व्यासदेव के शिष्य उनके पीछे गए, उनको
वन में
भागवतम।
चले गए, सीधे सीधे माँ के गर्भ से निकले और वन में प्रस्थान, जो कि 16 साल के ऑलरेडी हो गए थे। सो ही इज ब्रह्मराट एंड Parikshit Maharaj is Vishnu Rat. He was protected in the womb of his mother. A devotee of the Lord, they are always protected by the Lord. It is clear also in this connection that Vishnu Rat should hear Srimad Bhagavatam from a Brahma Rat and no one else, because others misinterpret the transcendental knowledge and thus spoils one's valuable time. So, okay, from today, next verses. Praha Bhagavatam Nama Puranam Brahma Samhitam Brahmane Bhagavata Proktam Brahmakalpa Upagate. Very beautiful verse. Verse to memorize. This is glory of Srimad Bhagavatam. So he began to reply to the inquiries of Maharaj Parikshit. This is Sud Goswami speaking. By saying that the science of personality of Godhead was first spoken by the Lord himself to Brahma. Brahmane Bhagavat Proktam. It was first spoken unto Lord Brahma. And who spoke? The Supreme Lord himself. The science of personality of Godhead was spoken first by the Lord himself to Brahma when he was first born. Srimad Bhagavatam is a supplementary Vedic literature. And it is just in pursuance of the Vedas. Puranam Brahma Samhitam. Samhitam, Brahma Samhitam means it is in pursuance to the Vedas. Srimad Bhagavatam is the science of the personality of Godhead. The impersonalist always tries to misrepresent the personal feature of the Lord. Not knowing the science of this great knowledge, and Srimad Bhagavatam is in pursuance of the Vedas and scientific knowledge of the personality of Godhead. To learn this science, one should take shelter of the representative of Sri Shukdev Goswami and follow in the footsteps of Maharaj Parikshit without foolishly attempting to interpret, thereby committing a great offense at the feet of the Lord. The dangerous ways of interpretation by the non-devotees class of men have played havoc in understanding the Srimad Bhagavatam. And the careful student should be always alert in this matter if he at all wants to learn the science of Godhead. So what is Srimad Bhagavatam? As Prabhupada is presenting here, this is the scientific knowledge of the personality of Godhead. This is the science of the Supreme Lord. If we want to know the Supreme Lord, then we have to dive into the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. Granth Rupe Bhagavate Krishna Avatar. So Krishna incarnates in Kali Yuga in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is the transcendental body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhagavad Gita is the Vani and Srimad Bhagavatam is the Vapu. Yad yad parikshid rishabha pandunam anupritchati anupurvayena tat sarvam akhyatim upachakrame. He also prepared himself to reply to all that King Parikshit had inquired from him. Very important. He also prepared himself to reply. Whenever we have to speak Srimad Bhagavatam, what we have to do? We have to prepare. Even Sukadev Goswami prepared himself to reply to all that King Parikshit had inquired from him. Never ever think that I can speak directly. Never ever it will happen. Then service will not be done. the Supreme Lord will not be pleased. Maharaj Parikshit was the best in the dynasty of the Pandus, and thus he was able to ask the right questions from the right person. Maharaj Parikshit asked many questions, some of them very curiously, to know things as they are. But it is not necessarily for the master to answer them in order of the disciples' inquiries. We have seen that so many times in Bhagavad Gita. If not necessarily, it has to be answered in the same sequence that is just being inquired, one after the other. But Sukadeva Goswami, experienced teacher that he was, answered all the questions in a systematic way as they were received from the chain of disciplic succession. And he answered all of them without exception. Thus ends the Bhakti Vedanta purport to the second canto, 8th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Questions by King Parikshit. Okay, so this chapter is concluded, and from tomorrow we'll take the new chapter, the 9th chapter. What is the most striking question which was asked by Parikshit Maharaj? He put so many questions. Questions about the Lord, the Jiva, the creation, the Kala, Karma, so many incarnations, Varnashram Dharma, all range of all topics. What were the most important questions asked by Maharaj Parikshit? All are important, no doubt. That is why it has got placement in Srimad Bhagavatam. But some of the very, very important questions. At least one name. Dayāśīl is hearing today or not, Ramya? He is not there.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी वो सो गए हैं।
वाह, वहां सोने के लिए आए। रोज भागवतम छोड़ के सो जा रहे। Most important question. Okay, find out. Tomorrow we will have discussion based on that. From your side, any inquisitiveness, any inquiry? Yes, Manoram Prabhu.
In 23rd verse,
Yeah.
the translation actually, I am not able to capture properly. Like the independent personality of Godhead enjoys his pastimes by his internal potency, and at the time of annihilation gives them up to the external potency. and he remains a witness to it all.
These are questions about his creation. So the Lord will always perform his pastimes by utilizing the internal potency. You know, whatever Krishna performs, it is under the potency of the Yog Maya. But for the material world, how the Yog Maya functions? How the Yog Maya functions? When the Yog Maya is in connection with Krishna, it is the internal potency. And when the Yog Maya is in connection with the material world, it is the illusionary energy that causes annihilation or creation. It's a very important topic, very deep topic. Did you hear my class on Katyani? You would have not heard, you did never find time, or interest is not there. Did you hear that? You did not hear, your face is speaking. Say yes or no.
No, Prabhuji.
We don't have time. I tried to explain to some extent there. Yeah, how the Swarupa Shakti, it manifests and it acts in three ways. Anyone can explain? Who heard? आप में से किसी ने सुन के पोस्ट भी नहीं किया था कि कोई दूसरा सुन ले। मैं ये देख रहा था सब बहुत बिजी हैं, किसी के पास टाइम नहीं है सुनने के लिए। जो सुनने के लिए टाइम नहीं है तो फिर अंडरस्टैंडिंग कहाँ से आएगी और एप्लीकेशन कब होगा? होगा नहीं। बताओ रविंद्र, आपने सुना था? नहीं सुना? नहीं सुना तो फिर मैं क्या कर सकता? And the Sarupa Shakti, there is only one Shakti, that is Sarupa Shakti, but it manifests in three forms. As Antaranga, Bahiranga, and Tatastha. I have given reference also from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita there. Like electrical energy, Prabhupada gives the analysis of electrical energy. An expert electrician can use the electrical energy, the same electrical energy for heating, and the same electrical energy for cooling. So the Supreme Lord, when this energy is being utilized for his pastime, it is the Antaranga Shakti. And when it is for creation, for the material world, it is like the Bahiranga Shakti. Another evidence is, that is why Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Devi Esha Gunmai Mam Maya Duratya. Why he has to say Devi? It is a divine energy, because it is Krishna's energy and it is acting under Krishna's order. Okay. So Krishna performs his leelas using Yog Maya. And then the Som Yog Maya acts as Mahamaya when it is in connection with the material creation. It cannot be. This is Achintya Bheda Ved Tattva. The highest proposition of the philosophy. Okay. So this is the explanation. I don't know how much you can accept it and how much you can, apply it. It depends upon you. To the extent the purification is there, we can accept and understand these higher topics. It is beyond human intelligence to understand this. Human intelligence will fail. It is only the spiritual intelligence which can allow one to have any understanding, and that depends on faith. And faith will depend on service. And service will depend on surrender. The surrender will depend on submission. They're all connected, all related. In the absence of one, the other cannot manifest. It will never manifest. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
God, thank you. Here, rascal, here that people have complete misconception of what is Katyani. By mercy of Acharyas, I could understand what is Katyani and I explained also, but no one is there to hear. They will again think that it is Durga. It is not Durga. It is the internal energy. How will Krishna allow? Krishna did not allow Brajavasis to do Indra Puja even for one day. How can he allow the most beloved gopis to perform worship for 30 days? Is it possible? So who is Katyani? People do not know the spiritual identity of Katyani. They have wrong misconception. But to remove the misconception, you have to hear. This is what the entire, you have to find time to hear. And if you say you don't have time to hear, then you will only hear Maya's music. She will ramp you, you will run and chase her, and you'll always get bewildered, life after life. Not giving up Maya's pursuit. Hare Krishna. Yes, Ramya, you have a question? That Katyani is actually Subhadra Devi, Ekansh Devi. She is Vrajavasi. Krishna did not allow Lakshmi. Lakshmi is the eternal consort of Lord Vishnu. She is a Vaishnavi. To enter into Vrindavan, how can Katyani enter? Who is Katyani? It has to be understood. And it is once in a, while that Krishna allows such understanding to come, such a revelation to take place. So many years, I was also hearing, and I was also understanding that Katyani is one form of Durga. That is true. But the gopis were not worshipping that form. Very confidential. These are confidential subject matters. This can only be known when the Supreme Lord is pleased and he reveals. Otherwise, it is not possible. Hare Krishna. So I'll stop here. I don't think anyone has any further inquiry. But please hear, read, again, visit, revisit, try to connect with the theme of Srimad Bhagavatam. Spend some time of the day. Find some 10 minutes during the day to connect and revise. Then you can see so many, spiritual conceptions will be manifested. Otherwise, they will not manifest. We'll be busy in 4 activities like the worldly people: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Nothing else. So we have to cut that cycle. How? By absorbing in hearing, chanting, reading, and sharing. Instead of ahar, nidra, bhaya, maithun, what we should be doing? Shravanam, kirtanam. And more importantly, sharing. No one is writing now. In last 1 month, I have not received even one write-up. Again and again, I request, but it is going all to empty ears. If you will write, my understanding will become clear. Huh? You are writing as if you are doing a great favor to me. A big, help for me, for your understanding. If you will write, Krishna will give you more revelations. The choice is yours, what you want to do. And please start Bhagavatam, this Bhagavad Gita distribution. Don't wait for the last dates. Please start. Apart from Ravinder Prabhu, no one has started. No one is even thinking कि करना है. Have you made some efforts? Manini Mataji, how many Bhagavad Gita you will do? In this club, not less than 400. Minimum is 400. Pradeep, how much is yours?
500.
500. At least try. Give it a full attempt. And you should be doing now. You are all connected for more than 5 years. Is there anyone who is less than 5 years? In Krishna consciousness? You should be doing at least 500. सुन रही हैं आप?
जी प्रभु जी।
कुछ नहीं, आवाज कम हो जाएगी ना, सुनाई नहीं देगा, आवाज नहीं निकलेगी, क्योंकि करने की इच्छा कम है। कम से कम 500 करिए, मुझे एड्रेस और वो बता दीजिए, मैं आपको बुक्स भिजवा देता हूँ। और प्राइस कम हो गया है पहले से, सबसे अच्छी बात है। पहली बार ऐसा हुआ बीबीटी के इतिहास में कि प्राइस रिड्यूस किया है।
प्रभु जी 500 नहीं हुआ था, आपने जो भेजा था पहले एक बार।
हाँ,
यहाँ पे जो एक बार 100 था प्रभु जी, बहुत प्रॉब्लम हुआ था, नहीं होगा 500।
अरे आपको तो पहले से ही आप रोना शुरू कर दिए, तो कहाँ से होगा?
प्रभु जी ये छोटा जगह है, नहीं लेते हैं यहाँ पे।
नहीं लेते, वो तो नहीं लेंगे, आपके प्रयास से तो नहीं लेंगे। हम किसी एक को एक गीता नहीं दे सकते, हमारी कैपेसिटी नहीं है। लेकिन करने का उत्साह उमंग होगी, प्रभुपाद से प्रार्थना करेंगे तो 500 क्या 5000 हो जाएगी। यहाँ क्या दिल्ली में आके आप बेचिए, आप बेच पाएंगे? आइए सड़क पे उतरो, देखे कितनी निकलती है, एक भी निकाल के दिखाओ। जिनको करना होता है वो सब जगह कर लेते हैं, जिनको नहीं करना होता वो किसी जगह नहीं कर सकते। सिचुएशन कोई चेंज नहीं होती, मटेरियल वर्ल्ड में सिचुएशन सब जगह वही है। कोई ऐसा नहीं आता बोलता है लाओ मुझे भगवत गीता दे दो, पैसे ले लो। ऐसा एक भी व्यक्ति नहीं मिला मुझे आज तक, ना मिलेगा। जितना प्रयास करेंगे उतना निकलेगा। आपके पास आप टीचर्स है ना, टीचर से स्पॉन्सरशिप कराओ, बोलो 11-11 भगवत गीता करो, 21 करो।
नहीं लेते प्रभु जी, मैंने भागवतम के लिए बोला था, एक दो वो मना करते।
हाँ, तो शुरू में ऐसा ही होगा, क्योंकि हम लोग क्या जब शुरू में करने लगे तो सब लेते थोड़ी थे, लेकिन हम प्रयास करते रहे तो निकलता है। करेंगे, हम तो करेंगे, आप अपना आप खुद सोच लो करना है नहीं करना है। एम्पावरमेंट तभी मिलेगी जब प्रयास करेंगे, नहीं तो नहीं मिलेगी। बाकी सब लोग करेंगे, होगा।
और यहाँ पे सेंटर वाले पे प्रॉब्लम करते हैं।
मुझे इतनी बातें नहीं सुननी है। मुझे किसी ने ये नहीं कहा कि मेरे को समस्या है, खाली आप कह रही हो। सबने कहा कि हाँ हम प्रयास करेंगे, किसी ने ये नहीं कहा कि मुझसे नहीं होगा। जो बोलता है मुझसे नहीं होगा, उससे बिल्कुल नहीं होगा, हो ही नहीं सकता, क्योंकि उसे करने की इच्छा नहीं है, तो कहां से होगा? ऐसे सोचे तो भगवत गीता बटेगी ही नहीं, फिर तो प्रचार होगा नहीं। क्या प्रचार करते हैं आप पूरे साल में, क्या सेवा करती हो बताओ मुझे, लिखो पूरे साल भर में क्या सेवा की है। एक सेवा पूछ रहे हैं प्रभुपाद जी के लिए, उसके लिए भी फिर हमारे पास बहाने हैं। तो प्रगति कहाँ से होगी? कुछ सेवा ही नहीं करना चाहते, कुछ संकल्प शक्ति नहीं है, कुछ सैक्रिफाइस नहीं करना चाहते, वो कैसे होगा? मैं तो आज अपना जोड़ रहा था कि कैसे होगा। होगा, प्रयास करेंगे तो होगा। जाना पड़ेगा, लोगों के पास मिलना पड़ेगा और उनसे आगे झुकना पड़ेगा, तभी होगा, वरना नहीं होगा। वो फॉर्मूला मैं पिछले 22 साल से अपना रहा हूँ। हर बार शुरू में लगता है बहुत मुश्किल है, बहुत टफ है, कैसे होगा, लेकिन लगे रहते हैं तो हो जाता है। प्रोपा जी करा देंगे, लेकिन जो लगेगा नहीं उसका नहीं हो सकता, वो तो बात तय है। हरे कृष्णा। श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, निताई गौर प्रेमानंद।